is we're going to discuss two quarterbacks who are going to the Hall of Fame, who are really, really good. Like, really, really good. Right? Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to talk about what's going on off the field or what has happened off the field with these two men. I don't care. Okay? Tom Brady's getting divorced. Okay. That's his business. Right? It's none of my business. As the product of divorce, of a broken house, that's all of his business. And that's all of his wife's business. If he got mad that a 5'7" Jewish guy on ESPN decided to leak that he was getting retired, so he decided to come back and ruin his entire family and life. Again, it's like that was a mistake that he made, and it was a dumb mistake that he made. But let me put it like this: if that, I highly doubt that that's the reason why. I bet you that that's the straw that broke the camel's back. And these two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, who have been nothing short of amazing throughout the last, since 2008, 2009, from 2009 to now, both of them at the same time, have been Hall of Famers. Okay? How many Super Bowls has Tom Brady won? How many MVPs has Aaron Rodgers won? I can assure you that Aaron Rodgers has won more MVPs over the last 12 years than Tom Brady has won MVPs, but Tom Brady has won 4 Super Bowls. It all comes down to this. I think these two men know how great that they are. They know their legacy. They work hard. They think about nothing but football. They expect a lot from the guys around them. They've shown how great that they can be. Brady and Rodgers. But when it all comes down to it, both of them have not been the best teammates. And the reason why I say that both have not been the best teammates is because I've seen what they've said to players. Tom Brady, I've heard that he doesn't show up on Wednesday. He just rests on Wednesday, which is fine. Then he went to Robert Kraft's wedding, which is fine. But I think players see this and they say, I see myself working really hard, and then I see this guy relaxing. Now, I get it. The Eagles have guys who rest. Kelsey rests, Slay rests, Cox rests, Graham rests, so that they can be fresh during practice. But I've never seen any of those 3-4 gentlemen ever speak to people like that. When I watched that Steelers game, right, the one where Tom Brady didn't do anything. They didn't do anything in that game. They couldn't do. They played that same Steelers team that the Eagles beat and ran up 35 points against them. Tom Brady couldn't score as much as more than 1 touchdown. And what we could all see was he was just yelling at his offensive linemen. You do know you've had injuries on your offensive line, right? Like, most of those dudes were not the guys you were planning on starting week 1, right? You had a lot of preseason and training camp offensive line injuries. You think those men like to be talked like that or spoken that way? Like, Tom Brady's not a millennial. Most of these guys are like 20 years younger than him. Most of these guys are like 10 years younger than me, right? Because I'm 32 years old. We don't like to be talked like that. and if you want to just say, like, just deal with it, okay. How do you think Tom Brady would like no protection? Right? I can just speak to myself. If someone honks at me for going too slow, dude, I'm going 5 miles an hour slower. I do not care. I don't care if I have a road rage incident. That's just how I am. Now, I don't do it out of nowhere, but if you're gonna treat me with that kind of disrespect, that's just what I'm gonna give in return. Maybe Tom Brady needs to show that he can be a better teammate to these guys. Right? It's very obvious that the chemistry on that team is off. It's very much off. And heck, maybe Gronkowski was the heart that held that team together. Who knows? But Gronkowski is probably not coming back. That guy's retired and loving life. When it comes to Rodgers, it's a pretty similar thing. Except it's not necessarily with the offensive line, it's with the receivers. Aaron Rodgers has some very young receivers. And I know that Aaron Rodgers was really looking to get good receivers in the draft, but the Packers, they don't run like that. They don't roll like that. Instead, they're going to draft a replacement quarterback for Aaron Rodgers. In all ways, shapes, and forms, they should have drafted him a better receiver. And they don't have that. Which is why their offense is suffering a lot. But here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers, he also hasn't been playing the greatest. So maybe he also has to work harder. Maybe he also has to work harder to show the leader that he is. A lot of people have said recently that these two guys should have never come back. People are saying that, or have been saying that maybe, just maybe, the way that they've been and the way that they've acted towards people recently is part of the problem. You can get 53 of the greatest Hall of Fame players in one room to put on a team. But does that mean they're going to be the best team? Not if they all hate each other. Not if they don't trust each other. I think that when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, who has been trying to move off of the Packers team and has shown maybe in rumors that he doesn't trust the Packers organization, and Tom Brady, who was going to retire until he wasn't going to retire because he didn't get to announce his retirement on his terms. Maybe these young players see that and they're less likely to play with them. Now, that's a tinfoil hat theory, but in my life, it actually kind of makes sense. I'm not coming out and saying that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady stink, because they don't. We've never seen these dudes be like this. And the season isn't over yet, by the way. Both teams are 3-5, but I could count on one hand the number of times I've seen my team at 3-5, and we go into the playoffs.